Hey everybody, welcome to live streaming with live coding with Jesse. And today we're just going to continue on with what we were doing yesterday. I don't think I've done anything since yesterday. I've been working on other things, so there's nothing to catch you up on. Only if you haven't seen any of these, the last two streams, we're working on an application page. So it's basically just a big form, a really big form. Wow. So it's a big form, and this is running in Salesforce, okay, which is a platform that a lot of businesses use. In particular, the type of page in Salesforce is called a Visualforce page, and they have this templating system. I think they call it Apex. It has these Apex tags, and we'll see that in a minute when we get to the code. But today we're not really going to be messing too much with that. We're going to deal almost exclusively with CSS, maybe completely CSS. So this should be nice for those of you that maybe aren't really confident in your JavaScript skills, or using frameworks, JavaScript frameworks. You might be a little bit more confident with your CSS skills, so should be able to follow along a little bit better. And I'll try to explain everything as I go along and explain the reason why I'm changing the styles and how I'm doing it. All right. Okay, so I'm just getting my other screens ready. I think I have everything ready, so let's get started. I'm going to start this timer. I have all of our tasks here that we're going to work on, so we're just going to work our way down this to-do list and see how many we can get finished. And really, this to-do list includes pretty much everything that we need to do to complete this project. So this might be the last day that we're working on it. We'll see. You never know for sure. Occasionally you run into some things that you didn't realize were there, or we didn't realize would be a problem. I already see something I forgot. I forgot to we're going to make that logo larger. Alright, let's start with that actually, because that's right here at the top in the corner here. So I usually like to kind of start with the header anyway, and then work my way down. So we'll probably start with this, get this completed, and then we'll work over to this side nav here. We'll complete the styles on that, and then we'll finish up the few things that need done within the form itself. Okay, so let's take a look then. Oops, in progress. And let's take a look at what's going on here and why it's so small. Okay, so we have a container div, and try to see what with, where is it getting these? Alright, let's go down one and see. Okay, it looks like it's getting these from here. Yep. Okay, interesting. So there's some media queries being used here that's defining the width of that icon and the height. So let's move this around a bit and see what changes with these media queries. Okay, they don't have any smaller. Yeah, they do. It just changed, didn't it? Let's see. Yep. Okay. 768 pixels we changed. Once we get down here, the logo just gets set to display none. I'm going to think about changing that. We probably should change that. But for now, let's stick to the task here. Let's change this first. And so what we'll do is grab this. We may as well keep this media query because maybe we will want a smaller logo on a smaller screen. We'll see. It may be the case that we can just keep the same size on both screens, but it'll save us a little bit of typing later on if we just bring that media query right over. Okay, so let's see. I want to keep this within navbar styles, so when I get down here, I'm going to make another section within here, just in my comments, and call this the interior nav. So it's interior top nav because we do have a side nav. And alright, we don't want. When you copy media queries from DevTools, it doesn't get everything that you need. So if you copy it over and it's not working, it's probably because you don't have that other set of brackets. So if you notice, when I brought it in, it just had the media query and it did not have these little curly brackets, so I had to add them. So if you've been working with DevTools, I'm sure you've already encountered that, but it might save you a little bit of frustration at some point. Why am I? Oh, okay. Shoot. I was editing directly the wrong file. So let me copy this over. I wondered why my indentation was like that, and that's why. It's wrong file. So luckily we didn't change that much. Pretty easy to copy that over. And so now that I know we have that in there, let's kind of mess with this now, and then we can put in the new values when we get what we want here. So I'm just going to change the width, and let's do height auto. That's interesting. Very interesting. Okay. 100%. Wow. Okay, we're gonna have to let's go with this then. We'll select the height. Interesting. I am going to have to set. I thought it was odd that they were setting both the width and the height like that. Evidently, the way they have this set up, you have to do it. So let's try it. Okay. Actually, that looks fine. I just kind of guessed and figured we'd have to adjust this, but I think that looks fine. Alright, let's keep those numbers then. So we got 150 and 113. I forgot to mention at the beginning, I merged another pull request on our other project, on our bulletin project that we're using React and GraphQL, doing some passwordless login through email links. So Harshit had another pull request, and he implemented a print view. I have a lot of people who are used to printing the bulletin from back in the days when it was just a Word document, and they still want to print it. So shortly after I launched the current version of the bulletin, I decided to implement a printer-friendly view, and so that's why we have that. So I really do want to keep it because I had several people ask very politely for it. So thank you, Harshit, for implementing that view. It looks great. I opened up a few more issues about that just to add in a few things and fix some positioning things. So I think we already have someone who's volunteered to do that. So thank you for that. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but you know who you are if you're watching. So I appreciate that. Okay, that's not bad. While we're here, let's just check out, well, let's go really big. Okay, that works, that works. Just kind of making sure we don't have a third media query, and it looks like we don't. So when we get down to here though, I think I'd like to display the logo, and that may require us to make this header a bit bigger. I'm okay with that though. I think it's important that we still have some continuity with our branding, even on the interior pages. And I know that my bosses would agree about that, so that's what we'll do. Alright, let's see if we need to set, oh yeah. Alright, well let's set our width and our height like we did last time. Let's go with, let's try 100. Oh, okay. I guess we won't need the width this time, just the height. So first thing, I'm going to try to make this small. That's interesting. Alright, we're going to have to change the background size. I could have typed that out faster than it took me to tab down there. So we need to change the background size here. Whoops. Background size. Let's see. Interesting. We are. There we go. It just wasn't working because I was putting it on the wrong thing. Okay. There we go. This is what... Background size. Contain. There we go. Okay. So this is what we have here. Let's see. That's small, but... that will be on a mobile device, so I think it's, you know, potentially it's reasonable to have a smaller logo. A user will have the device closer to their face than they would a computer screen or something like that. I think that works. I think we're going to go with that. And if we get some feedback that it needs to be bigger, we can always do that, but we'll go with this, and then we won't even have to mess with the height. Okay, that works. So let's go, let's just double check and make sure that we can put this height here and it still works, and it does. We're going to grab these two. Let's just grab the whole thing here. Okay, and we're still within our top nav here, and let's put this here, the media query below it. You know what, I'm going to keep this here even though we already have it elsewhere, because I just like to keep all of my custom styles in the same spot, and then I can remove this from the area where I had this previously. Okay, great. So let's do a little test and copy these over. And then we'll copy it over into Salesforce. Make sure that all our styles are being applied correctly. Oops, did I get that? Okay. Oh, okay. And that is not being applied correctly. That's odd. That's all right. Let's do a hard refresh here. Okay. Maybe I messed something up when I copy and pasted this. Okay, that's there. It's definitely there. Alright, let's try it again then. Just copy and paste and quick save. Okay, try it again. Alright, let's inspect. It should be this style tag. Yep. Alright, let's go down to this place. Yeah, actually, so we do. We have this. We have these styles here. Why aren't they being applied? Target X header, university icon. Oh, let's try this. I'm not 100% sure this is the problem, but it's worth a shot. Nope. Thought it might have been thrown in error. Okay, well let's see. University icon title. Let's see if the other one is being applied. Nope, it's not. Interesting. Alright, let me check the live chat in case you all saw something that that I didn't see. Oh no, I forgot to start my timer. I even moved it over here in the corner so y'all can see it, and I forgot. We're gonna have to keep an eye on the clock. It's about 2:18 right now. Let me set this 10-minute timer, and that'll be right about the time when I started coding. So thanks for asking about that, Harshit. Let me check. Let's see. Hey everybody, I see several of you are saying hello. Harshit says, I now have 41 commits in the bulletin. You have 21. I know. You've done quite a bit of work. I told everyone we had a department meeting yesterday, and I told everyone that you were doing a significant amount of the work for this bulletin, and they were all impressed. So I'm not taking credit for your work. I'm making sure that everyone here knows not just the work that Harshit does, but the work that all of you do. So I do not mind sharing credit at all. Let's see. Okay. Sebastian says, I see some Angular stuff there. Yeah, there's some Angular going on here. So yeah, this is built with Angular. Oops, it's not showing up properly when it's small. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, so we've got Angular here and jQuery, moment for the dates. And then here's that Apex Pages. That's the Salesforce thing. Yeah. Speaking of Angular, we had a new video out this past week setting up an Angular project. So if you're interested in Angular, check that out. I never really do any Angular stuff, so for any Angular people that might be watching, you can check that video out. It's one of, just check the last like several videos. It'll be in there. The title's really obvious. But that's really cool because we didn't really have a lot of Angular stuff going on until now. Shoot. All right, let's troubleshoot this. Okay, so I'm gonna check. Let me look in this style tag again to see if we've made any mistakes. Actually, let me see. This, I believe, is being applied correctly. Where's our A tag? Okay, here. So our A tag is being applied correctly. I'm basically trying to see how far down the page is there an error. Let's see. Alright, let's see where we're at. So that's way at the top. Yeah, that's way at the top. I'm thinking, did we miss... I'm thinking we messed up our syntax somewhere. But it doesn't look like it. These are all things we did yesterday that worked. The only things that we've added are this here. So our media. I'm not 100% sure this is entirely necessary, but I see that almost always. So it's worth a shot. I don't see how that could have messed up the previous code though, the previous styles. Shoot. Okay, you know what? Let's inspect that element. Where are we at? We're gonna have to expand this so I can get that. Okay, so that's where we're at. Yeah, and here's okay, so that's already showing up in the page, and it's at the bottom. Okay, we've got some things overriding our style, so let's take that out completely. Or we can comment it out. These are all commented out, so that's fine. Okay, so let's dig into Salesforce a bit and find where this is being put in, and let's take it out. Let's see. Okay, so let me think. How can I get to this? Alright, let's go into our Visualforce pages. Sorry this is so small. I'll try to make it bigger. Let me increase the font size. Okay, we actually we may be able to get this more quickly. If I go back to the main page, sometimes it'll show me what I've, there we go, default, I think this is it, yep, yeah, this is it. So anyway, it shows my recent items. So luckily I had checked this page out recently enough that it was still here. Saved me a lot of time looking for it. Okay, wow, that's so useful for custom CSS. That was sarcasm. Really? I mean, how can you put custom CSS in the box this small? I know you can resize it, but the default should be like at least that big. Okay, let's just comment this out. The reason I'm commenting it out and not taking it out completely is that this was put in here by the company that's doing this. So Target X is the company that made this application portion that works with Salesforce. But then another company called Genzabar is reselling that to my university. So we don't work directly with Target X. We work with Genzabar. So the person at Genzabar that's in charge of helping us left all this code here as a little helper so that I didn't have to look for where to do these things. So that's why I'm leaving it here. In case I ever get stuck and don't know where to change something, I can come back here and it's all, you know, has some helpful comments. So that's why I'm keeping it like that. Otherwise I would just get rid of it. Okay. Alright, now let's refresh and see what happens. Not expected at all. Okay, I didn't think that would happen because I thought we are bringing in that background image here. Alright, let's see. Maybe this is being inserted somewhere else further down the page as well. Interesting. Okay, this is a good sign though. No, it's not. That's the old stuff. We're still not getting any of our newer stuff. Okay, finally, here, we did get some of the new stuff here. Okay, so you see it is being... That's really odd. Okay, we just need to get a little bit more specific with our style. So, I'm not going to even look at these anymore. Let's just do this. I mean, I don't really like doing this often, but this isn't a usual situation where we have access to all the files. And my timer just went off, so I'm going to test this, and no matter what happens, we're just going to answer some questions. Oh, okay, we have something. Alright, great. This is very slow to update. I mean, I don't know how many people are going to be moving this back and forth like that, but okay. I'm not exactly sure why this isn't working here. Oh, you know, we forgot to take out display none. As soon as we get back from the question and answer, we got to remember display none needs to be changed to display whatever we want. We'll see which display works the best there. Okay, short break, and I'm going to go through the live chat, answer any questions that you've had so far. Then we'll do another 25-minute session. We'll finish up with that header. Should be just one more thing needed for the change. And let's mark down that we did spend so far 1 Pomodoro cycle on that. Okay. Let's see. Harshit asks. Oh, okay. Some Jithan says, "Can you read this?" Yes, I can read this. So let me know if you have any other questions. I'm more than happy to answer them. And welcome. I haven't seen you in the chat before, so thanks for joining us. So Harshit asks if there's any big work left in the Bulletin project, like authentication. I might do that this weekend. You know what, Harshit, I'll think about some stuff and maybe put some issues in. And if I think about what I'm streaming, I'll say something. Maybe in the question and answer session at the end, we can take a look at the site quickly and maybe go over some things. And that way you or anybody else that wants to work on it over the weekend can do that. As I've said before about that project, I really want to tie it into the login system that we have at the university. It's SAML based. I need to get some information from the IT department. I can't implement that. I can't do anything from my end unless I get the right info. So I'm still working on that info. I do have a meeting, and the head of the IT department and the second in command at the IT department will be there, but it's not until November 7th. It's about something else, but I could definitely ask them if I haven't got the info by then. I hope I get the info sooner than that, but I don't have very much hope that, you know, it's 2:30 p.m. here on a Friday, so I don't think I'd get very much done now. Especially after the stream, everybody will probably be gone. So probably next week I'll reach out to them again and maybe meet with some of them and talk about it. So there is more authentication work that needs to be done, I hope, but I don't really have enough info right now for us to get it to work or test it out or anything like that. Harshit also asked, what's the plan for deployment of the bulletin? Okay, I don't have a date yet for deployment. So in terms of a date, there's no hard date for that. When we do deploy, we're going to deploy it just like we've done some of the previous projects. We're going to set up a droplet on DigitalOcean with Ubuntu. We're obviously running Node. We're going to run Nginx as a reverse proxy. We'll set up an SSL with that, and probably it'll end up being at bulletin.franciscan.university. And then we'll just set up a redirect for the current URL, because the current URL is franciscan.university/bulletin. But with the way we have things set up, I can't do that if we want to put this on DigitalOcean. So we'll just set up a redirect for the current URL to redirect to the other one. And yeah, so I mean, it's not really anything we haven't worked on before. We don't need it to handle a really heavy load. The university has around 500 employees, and so there's not really going to be that many people on the site at any one time. So we should be able to just run a $5 droplet. Harshit said, try important to override. I know. I try to avoid using important whenever I can, though, so it would maybe have saved some time, and we may end up having to resort to that anyway, but since in that case I could get rid of some code, and I was going to get rid of that code anyway at some point, I figured we may as well do that. makes everything look a lot cleaner in the end. Rook said, what is that, a CSS box for ants? It needs to be at least 3 times bigger. I know, right? It was crazy. Like, maybe they just don't expect people to even use that, and so they just made it small. And let's see, I only have a few more comments left, so I know my timer's up, but I'll just get through the rest of them. Inna says, how was your day, Jesse? Actually, today wasn't bad. Actually, if you all don't mind, let me tell you a story for 2 minutes here, because I did have a little excitement today. So I come into work, and I'm working for a little while, and then I get a call from my wife, who says she was upstairs with the 2 littlest ones, with the baby and with my 3-year-old, and all of a sudden she heard the door alarm go off. So I have an alarm on the house, and even if the alarm's not set, it still makes a noise, like a doorbell noise, when somebody opens a door, and then a voice says which door was open. So it said the basement door came open. So she looked out the window to see if I was home, didn't see my car, got scared and took the kids and ran across the street to the neighbor's house, who, I guess my wife has the code for their garage door opener because she takes care of their dog whenever they're away. So she goes over to the neighbor's house and calls me. I'm at work, and I'm saying, well, I don't know what to do. I'll come check it out. So I drove home, went through the whole house to make sure nobody was there. Nobody was there. I think what happened is my wife just was holding the baby when she came in and did not close the door. And, just kind of, it closed, but it didn't latch all the way. So the wind probably blew it open. But anyway, I had to go home and protect my family. So that was... But I did get to see the baby and my 3-year-old and my wife. So that was kind of cool. I got to see them. So... anyway, so that's how my day was so far, and yeah, not bad. I've been I wrote a gist that fixed what I think was an error in materialized CSS. I wrote this a long time ago, and I just now the maintainers of that repository don't think that it's a problem. They think that it's not a bug and it should be like that. So anyway, we disagree on that point, but I still put my gist in the issue so that other people could use it if they were having the same problem. So anyway, I've been going back and forth with someone on there trying to help them to use that. So that's kind of cool because I took the time to put that on there, so I'm really happy that somebody's actually using that. Although I do kind of wish they'd merge it, but I mean, hey, it's their repo. They can run it however they want. Anyway, thanks for being patient through my story. Let's get back to the code. Actually, so Harsh says, may I submit a pull request having SAML boilerplate? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, that'll set us up that it'll be easier later on when we do get the info we need. So, yeah, for sure. I appreciate that. Harsh, it says, consider vultr.com, vultr.com. It's cheaper than DigitalOcean. Okay, has anybody used that website before? vultr.com. Let me know if you have and how you like it. I just got to make sure that it's good quality since it's for the university. I got to be able to justify to the IT department why we're using this, and is it safe, and who else uses it, and they're very security conscious. So anyway, as long as it's all cool and it checks out, I'm definitely open to it. But I mean, for the university, a $5 droplet on DigitalOcean is not really a huge expense. Although I'm more than happy to try it out for my side projects and things. All right, let's go back to this. First things first, where's that display none? Get out of here. All right. Okay, cool. So display none was our problem. Let's get rid of that and say, whoops, what do we want to say? Let's see what it's automatically going to here. Display block. Alright, great. We will set it to display block. Where are we at? Oh, right here, right where my cursor is. I don't know what I'm thinking. Display block. Alright, I'm not even going to check that. I'm almost positive that it's going to work. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to check it. Now, I don't remember before the break exactly how much we worked out in terms of the overrides. Okay, looks like it worked. Wonderful. All right, let's move this over to the done. All right, we've already tested it. Now it's done. I'm not gonna change this amount of time we took, since we only went over by a minute or so. All right, so next one, fix button colors on the application nav. Let's go for that. Change side nav. All right, and then let's put all these side nav ones on deck here and ready for dev. Side nav, side nav, side nav. Okay. So the button colors obviously are not what we want. Let's think about what color we want. Do we want to go with the yellow? I think it's either going to be that yellow color or the green color. I think I'll go with the yellow for now, since we're already using it for the other buttons, just for consistency. And then we can always change it later if we feel like we need to. Target X button header. Okay, let's grab that class. And as you can see, I've been editing in this file, so I think I'm just going to edit in this file to take out one step from our flow here, and then, I don't know, at the end of every day I can just copy it over here if we really want to keep a separate CSS file. But I think it might be better to just keep all of this in style tag in the head like we're doing. Since that's the way we're building it and testing it, then it's most likely to be reliable like this. I'm afraid if we move it into an external CSS file and then bring it in, it'll get overridden by a lot of other styles and we'll have a mess. Okay, what are my button styles? That's not it. I think they're down here. There we go. Button styles. Let's add this in. Oops. Put a dot. And we're going to add it in here as well. Alright, so that should do it. Let me make this a bit smaller. Whoa. Interesting. Alright, so that didn't work. Probably. Let's see. I'm guessing that the styles... Interesting. Alright, what do they have going on here? Alright, let's... I think we're gonna have to use important here. So it looks like the hover is working, so that is turning a different color, but we're gonna have to use important for the non-hover state. So let's throw important on our color and on our background color. If you're not familiar with important, important overrides everything in CSS, so even inline styles. So if you really need something to apply, use that, but use it sparingly, because you'll never be able to change this. It totally breaks the cascading nature of cascading style sheets. So normally you want the cascading. Yeah, so that's why I try not to use it, because it makes things difficult later on to change. But sometimes you have to do it. And in this case, I don't think we have another option unless we want to take a lot of time to try to find out where all this markup is coming from and change that. And I don't think it's that important to take that much time. Okay. Interesting. So we still have some things that aren't being applied. We still have that weird effect, which I definitely want to get rid of. We have this. Is that supposed to be a shadow or a border? That's weird. Let's see where that's coming from. Oh my goodness, it's a blue box shadow. Oh, I've never seen anything like that. That's a weird shadow too. I mean, aside from the color, it's just really odd. Anyway, okay, so we're gonna have to get rid of that box shadow. Why is it not? Oh. Where is this being pulled in from? Grid framework. I gotta see where on the page this is coming in at. No, it's not finding this. Alright, for some reason the search is not working here. Come on, let's... actually, you know what? I think it's searching. There we go. Grid, huh? Interesting. It must be being pulled in some other way. Alright, let's find all our style tags. Six style tags? You gotta be kidding me. Alright, there's nothing in that one. This one's above ours. We need to look for ones that are below our style tags. So, I'm sorry, that's a script tag. Style. It's not ours. Script. Body. Now that's weird. So we have our head tag here, and then we have our body, but then within our body we have a bunch of meta stuff and more tags. Ugh, that's a mess. Okay. So we had our first one, our second one, third one is ours. The fourth one, okay, so I don't think we're dealing with any of these yet, but it's good to know it's there. Now we should have one more, and we already commented all this out. That's really odd. Let me check the live chat here and see if you all saw anything that I didn't. Yeah, Harshit, you're right. I mean, it is a source map. That's why I started to look in here manually, because I thought, well, here's what I thought. One, that it is a source map because it had the .less at the end, right? But I thought even if it's being pulled in anywhere on this page as a link, it shouldn't be overriding what we're doing. So maybe somehow they're pulling it in and putting it inside a style tag. But we can see that's not the case. We just went through every style tag. So yeah, let's do that. Let me see. I never use source maps, so I need to figure out where I can turn those off at. Actually, I want those. There we go. Okay. Alright, source maps are off. Now hopefully we'll be able to see where this is really coming from. Whenever I work on projects like this that are old projects that I need to do things with, it feels like I'm a detective. Or it's like a puzzle. Like I'm trying to figure out where the things are. It's kind of fun when it works out. Not so fun when you spend hours trying to figure out something, but so far we haven't really spent that much time trying to figure anything out. Where was that? Button, header. There's our button, right? Alright, let's scroll down. No! Alright, let's refresh because it's still showing me the less file. What? It's still showing less files. Alright. No, still. You gotta be kidding me. Alright, let me look. Components. Alright. Harshit. Good eye, Harshit. Yeah, okay. I'm so glad you saw that. I turned off JavaScript source maps, not CSS source maps. So thank you for catching that, Harshit. I would have been searching for a long time in vain. Okay, cool. Now let's give it a refresh. Whoa. Let's go back here. And let's see where this is coming from. Okay, these are our styles. Where is this coming from? I guess these aren't our styles. These are ours. Okay, I was mistaken. These are ours. These are the ones that are overriding ours, and they are in a style tag. We just missed them. No, they're not. What? This is so weird. This should not be overriding our styles. Our styles are down here. Right? I thought they were. I guess not. Alright, let's go back here. Oops, no, it'll be easier to see here. Okay. Link. Header, nav bar. Alright. I really hate to do this because obviously you don't want to put style tags in the middle here, but I think this is the only way that we're going to be sure that we're overriding a lot of stuff. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move our style tag down here. If I put our style tag right here above the nav, we might have a shot at having it be above. I'd rather not have to put it inside the nav, but if I do, I will. It's just going to look terrible inside the nav. But anyway, I think we'll do it now. The reason I'm going to do this, even though I wouldn't normally put a style tag in here, is because the way that the document's being put together, the style tags are already all messed up. You have multiple places throughout where there are style tags. So I don't have control over that. I can't change that, so I shouldn't be too worried about it. Okay, let's change this. And hopefully this will solve our problem. There we go. We can leave our link tag up here, that's fine. Now let's bring this in. Save it. Copy it. And alright, now let's see what's going on. It's How is it worse? No. What is going on? Okay. Are none of my styles here now? I must have copied and pasted wrong, right? That's insane. Style tag. Style tag. No, that's... Okay, there's our font. Dashboard, target XUI. Already checked that. Script, the style. And these are not it, right? Here's the one that we wanted to get below. Here's our header. We should be inside that. Alright, for some reason, it doesn't like it that we put that style in here. Let's move it somewhere else. Alright, I'm going to try it in here. If this doesn't work, I may just have to throw some more importance in there. Wow. Did I copy this over or not? No, I can't even remember. And let's make sure we do a hard refresh. And style, oops. We're gonna check the style tags. Yeah, we're missing one. See, before we had 6, now we have 5. So that style tag that we're trying to move around will not work if we put it down lower in here. So potentially we could put CSS down at the bottom here. We have this portion here that's being added. It would work. I know where I need to put this, but I'm hesitant. It already is taking so long for the styles to actually get applied. I'd rather not add to that time at all by moving them further down the page. All right. Let's move it back to where we know it works first of all. Alright, so we got our styles back. That'll be a good place to start from. Let's do another question and answer session. I'm going to set my 5-minute timer right now, but I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to do another Pomodoro session of oops, keep looking in the wrong spot, of CSS. So I'm not 100% sure. This one's taking way longer than anticipated. I mean, I know I estimated 1, but I thought it would be before 1. Okay. Let me scroll up a bit, and there's actually not a lot in the live chat, so oops. Maybe we will do some more coding. Nan says that styling tags are a mess. Yes. Yes, they are. Harshit asked which mouse and keyboard I use. I use the, what do they call it? The Magic Trackpad or something like that. So the Apple trackpad thing that you can get with Macs. So that's what I use. The gestures are nice. So it was really weird to get used to coding with this at first, but I've been using it for about 1.5 years now, and it's just really fast to like swipe between screens, you know, and do things like that. So I've gotten used to it. Does anybody else use a trackpad when they're coding, or is it, you know, mainly use a mouse? And my keyboard is just, it's nothing special. The keyboard is just the basic Apple keyboard. So I mean, it has the number pad on it. That's the only special thing. So I've been wanting to try out one of these mechanical keyboards that I see. Everybody talks about how awesome they are. So I want to try it out. They're kind of expensive though, and a lot of them look really cool. So maybe I'll try it out. I'll try one out one day. Harshit said, I mostly use keyboard for all stuff. Yeah, I've heard that ends up being a lot faster. Harshit says, I rarely touch the mouse. Yeah. That would be a lot faster. I've heard, especially people that use Vim, they like never need to touch the mouse. They can do everything from the keyboard. So that's cool. I can see the benefits of that. For now, this works for me. I'd have to make like a deliberate effort to try to switch up how I do it though. So if I think it'll really help speed up my my dev process here, then I'm willing to try something else. But for now, this works for me. Like I said, I'd like to try out a new keyboard. But we'll see. I just maybe have to wait and see if one's on sale and it's good quality. I really like. I've seen some keyboards that look like they're from a typewriter, so they look really old school. I think that looks cool. I would want to try that or try to make that or something. Let's see. Rook says, is that how the screens sometimes slide halfway across? Yeah, that's how I do the little slide thing. So it is cool. And that's one thing, like when I had a mouse, I used to do this with the keyboard. I think you can do like control and then the number keys. But one thing you can't do with that is you can't slide halfway across and check what's going on here. So like you don't have as much control with the keyboard for things like this. Sometimes like I don't need to go completely up here. I just need to peek really quick and see what's behind something. So it's not a huge difference, but it makes a little bit of difference. Sahil says Trello does help. Yeah, definitely. Sahil says, I mean, for one person on a single project. Oh, does Trello help? Sorry, I misread that first one. It's a question. The question is, does Trello help for one person on a single project? Yeah, definitely. Trello is very helpful. So this is how I set up all my Trello boards for projects that I'm doing. This is the Kanban style. I do add this column here. You don't technically need all these columns for Kanban, but this is how I like to set it up and how I learned to do it. It's very helpful for me to keep track of everything. I can easily at a glance see how much more I have left in my project, how much I've done. It's a very nice visual reminder. Once this done section gets really long, it's cool because you just get the feeling like I've done all this work. It's a sense of accomplishment. Even though you haven't finished the project yet, you can still see all the work that you've put into it. So I recommend this even if you're the only person on a project. It'll keep you on track and it gives you a nice record, in addition to your commit history and things like that. But this gives you a nice record, and it helps me. I can put to-do lists in here. I can put attachments. If I wanted to, I could allow somebody else to see this, even if they're not working on the project. Maybe like, let's say somebody who's handling the photography or the content for the site may be able to put their stuff in here. So even if they're not a developer, still be useful. So anyway, I really like this. And I imagine if you had more than one person, this would be even more useful so that anybody could automatically see what's going on with the project and if somebody's working on something or not. So I like it. It helps me. But you have to you just have to be consistent and use it. Occasionally I'll have a project where I just quit using the board, and then obviously there's no benefit to it. Let's see. Harshit says you can annoy people with them, meaning the mechanical keyboard, especially the Cherry MX red switches. Okay, that's what I wondered. So if any of you have experience with a mechanical keyboard, let me know. So I guess I have two questions. One, is the noise really that bad? Now, I work in an office by myself. I have walls, a ceiling, a door, so it's probably not, the noise issue won't be a problem. When I work at home, I usually work in the basement, so probably not a problem either. But I mean, is it so loud that I would hear it over my headphones and I would annoy me? Myself, right? So that's my first question. Number two, if I was to get one, what are the best kinds of switches? Because I hear like all these different colors for switches. Which ones are the best? Okay, so I'll let everybody answer that and I'll move on here. Brian asks, how are you peaking? You mean this? So, hold on a sec. I'll show you. Okay. Alright, this will be easier to see. So, I move 3 fingers across like this. You can't see it on my other screen because I'm a couple screens over. So, I just move 3 fingers and then I can peek. So you'd need a trackpad. I think you can do it on the Magic Mouse as well, because you can do touch gestures on the mouse. Um, oh, okay, the exposed gesture. That's 3 fingers straight up. So this one, just move them straight up. Okay, Robert says, Red Dragon mechanical keyboard is what I use. It's only $39. I replaced my Corsair with the Red Dragon. Okay, that's a pretty reasonable price compared to what I've seen for other mechanical keyboards. So so Robert, so would you recommend it? Does it give you a better experience when you're typing? Is it a noticeable difference, or is it worth it? All right, Rook says the Cherry MX Blue are the clicky tactile ones. Okay. Oh man, Sahil says I once made a Trello board for my friends for a university project, but no one even bothered. I know how that is. I tried to get other people that work here to use Trello for things before, and to use like Google Sheets and edit things, on the Google Sheet instead of emailing something back and forth, or worse, printing it out and just sending it to people. We've actually had people burn files on CDs to share them, and this is within the last 2 years. So the situation is, I totally understand the situation of trying to get people to use some technology that'll make things go faster and be more productive, and then nobody wants to use it. I think I'm going to make my my face smaller because I just feel weird. I'll leave it a little bit bigger since I'm talking and not coding, but I was looking at the video feed, and I'm just not used to me being the focus. Okay, so Robert says they are noisy, so I use a Logitech Wave at work. Harshit says some coders do not use mechanical keyboards on their YouTube vids and live stream. Oh, you know what? That's a good idea, actually. I didn't even think about that, but so it would probably be good then to have either a backup keyboard at work, or just not use it at work and use the if I'm going to use mechanical keyboard, maybe just use it at home. Harshit says the Cherry MX Brown are the best. Okay, cool. So what makes the brown the best? Sorry for all the questions about that. I'm sure I could look this up on my own, but I think it's cool to get advice from you all, especially if you have experience with them. Alright, Rook says, for mechanical switches, go to stores that have them and fake type away. Really the best option? That's a great idea. This kind of goes to show like how much Amazon has changed the way I think. It never occurred to me that I could go to an actual store and type on a keyboard before I bought it. In my mind, I'm just thinking like, I'm just going to buy this off of Amazon. Like, the only store I ever actually go to in person is the grocery store. That's it. I buy everything else from Amazon. All right. Okay. Harshit says a Corsair mechanical keyboard costs $170. Ooh, that's more than I'd like to spend on a keyboard, especially if I already have one that is sufficient. I would definitely have to have significant proof that that keyboard would be much better for me. Oh, okay. So I guess Harshit's saying that now Windows has the same gestures. That's awesome. Before I downloaded some program that let me use gestures on Windows, and it wasn't as good as the Mac, but that's really cool that they have them natively. Okay, so Harshad asks, which one do I find better, GitHub or Trello? For GitHub projects or Trello? I'm going to tell you right now, if I had to pick right now, I'd pick Trello. But I've only used GitHub projects just for the last, what, like week or two? So I don't think I've really given it a fair shot. So maybe in a couple weeks, I'd have a better opinion if I really force myself to use GitHub projects. I think if I found a way on GitHub projects to actually track my my Pomodoro cycles, then I would probably like it a lot more. So I either need to find something that does it in a very similar way or better way that I could do it on Trello, or make something. So this is just a Chrome plugin that does this right now. So potentially I could just make a plugin that would do the same thing but for GitHub pages. So if I really start, or I'm sorry, not GitHub pages, GitHub projects. If I really start to like GitHub projects, maybe I'll try to make something like that. I don't know. Otherwise, I'm gonna probably use both. And it's really nice though that it's integrated. Everything with GitHub is integrated, so it's right there on the repo. It's convenient for people who come to the GitHub repo and want to contribute to the project to not have to go somewhere else. So I like that. We'll see. I really want GitHub projects to work and be the thing that I can use. So I'm gonna give it some time and try it out a little bit more. Okay, Harshad says for the keyboard switches, the mechanism feels different for each. Okay. The MX browns are still tactile but quieter than the blues. Okay. Now Harshad says it's personal preference. Alright. Robert says, I think it's worth it because I like the tactical feedback. I did not want to pay $100 to replace my Corsair, so I went with the Red Dragon and it works just as good as the Corsair. Okay, cool. So what... Okay, that was going to be my next question, and you've already answered it, so awesome. Robert says the Red Dragon has fake red switches. So I'm assuming they're not the Cherry MX brand switches. Then they're some type of off-brand. Okay. All right. Cool. You know what? Actually, maybe that might be a good way to start out, just to get a cheaper one, even though it's not like the best switches that everybody says you need. And then at least I can get an idea of whether I even like that. And then maybe maybe if I really like it, then I can justify paying more money for the Cherry brand switches. It could be a work expense. I might be able to deduct that from my taxes. So, that is another cool thing when you freelance. Be sure, depending on your tax laws where you're from, you can save money on your taxes by making sure that you deduct all work expenses, which can include, if you work out of your house, part of your internet bill, potentially even part of your rent if you have a dedicated working space, bills for your computer, for all your servers, if you're getting like DigitalOcean or AWS, something like that. So I didn't talk about that when we were talking about freelancing before, but you're going to have to deal with taxes if you freelance unless you pay somebody else to do it. Oh, okay, so Rook says the patent expired on the Cherry MX switches, so now a lot of other manufacturers are making them. Okay, that's kind of cool. So potentially they could be close to the same quality. That's interesting. I think it's worth a shot then. I don't know if I'll get it anytime soon. I got Christmas coming up, so I gotta save up some money and buy presents for all the kids and everybody. So maybe after that, I'll be looking to get a keyboard. All right. Well, I'm to the bottom of the live chat, and we've been streaming for about an hour and a half now. So I think I'm not gonna do any more coding. It's probably obvious at this point. On this stream right now, I'll probably be able to do a little bit more work on this before I leave today, and I'm going to do some digging around in Salesforce because that's kind of boring for you all to watch. I'm going to do some digging around and see how much I can actually edit of this, and maybe we can get this looking a little bit nicer and sort it out. So because it's kind of a mess, and the markup is just, it's weird. So okay, sorry Harshit, I almost forgot. So Harshit's reminding me that to bring up the bulletin and plan that out. All right, totally forgot. Really glad that you reminded me. All right, so I have the bulletin up right here. All right, let's see. So, all right, so aside from the what we already discussed at the beginning of the stream about the SAML authentication stuff, here's what we still need. I'm trying to see if there's anything big. Oh, a search. All right, the search is probably the biggest, most complicated thing that we need right now. So the search, I'd like to have it be a live search. So when you type, I mean, we definitely want to debounce it so it doesn't, or throttle it so that it doesn't come up with, it doesn't send like a million requests. But we're going to have to hit that GraphQL endpoint to get what we need. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do. We'll need some type of live search feature. As a model, this live search is going to function almost exactly like the way we did it on Project 1. So I guess, yeah, it's going to function like that. Harshit says there is already data in there. Yeah, well, here's the thing. Of this, there's a lot of posts. So if we can bring in all the posts that are in WordPress, then that's fine if we just filter what we have. But do we really want to pull all those posts every time somebody comes to the site? Because normally people are just going to see a small fraction of the total available posts. So I guess it's going to be a trade-off. Is, do we want to keep it really light and only pull in some of the posts that people are likely to want to see, and then just make another call when they go to search? Or do we want to pull in everything all the time? So I don't know. I don't know what would be better. But either way, we need to be able to get have a user type something in and then automatically have these cards pop up. So it would be like, basically, once they type in 3 characters or more, if they stopped for, I don't know, 400 milliseconds after typing, then it runs a search. Something like that. So anyway, that's there. What I'd like to have happen is if you click search, it just extends. It either can do one of two things. It can just extend out a search box here, Obviously, it needs to be like the material design style, or it can change out this entire thing and make it one big search with an X over here and a search button over here when you click the button. And that's another thing that needs to happen. On first button click, it needs to open up the search, and then the search thing needs to remain here or slide over, and then you need to be able to click on that to initiate a search once you've typed in what you want. Obviously, a live search is going to be an option there, and it's going to automatically come up, but the live search is only going to happen if you search for something that's 3 or more characters. On the off chance that somebody types in 2 characters and wants to search for that, they need to hit the search button, which why would you ever search for something that's 2 characters? But you never know. Maybe it's 2 really weird characters. Okay, so that's the search. Like I said, if you check out that Project 1, the Catechetical Institute page, it's catechetics.com. I guess we should just bring it up right now. Let's see. So we did this on the resources page. We have the search. If you see, I can type that in, and right, nothing comes up. So anyway, so that's where you'd look for that. Let's see. I don't think we're actually going to do classic mode. The help page, we're not going to do that yet because I think the current help page is based on the current site. So it has some tutorial videos and things on there. I'm going to redo all that because we're not going to have the same issues that we had with the old site. So we'll hold off on that until we're closer to being finished. The filter by date. So as long as a user needs to be able to pick either a month and a year, and we just get all the posts from that particular month, or if we want to, we can allow them to pick a date range. So down to the day, they can pick a date range. So either one of those are fine. Probably the month-year thing will be the easiest. And then the current bulletin needs to only get the bulletin items for the past week. I already have some logic in the current bulletin project, so I'll probably share that logic with you all sometime next week and see if we can just recycle that and apply it to what we're doing here. It's a little weird and kind of specific to our situation, so just I guess hold off on that until we can look at what we're doing now and see if that'll work or if we need to make it better. So anyway, that's kind of the plan. I think that covers the biggest things, and yeah, and I mean I'll be doing a lot of little adjustments here and there to make things look nicer, make the text more readable, and things like that. You know, just small adjustments. So cool. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. Harshit saying Apollo 2 came out. Interesting. Harshit said it scrapped Redux. Should we migrate? Oh man. I don't know. I'm not necessarily interested in migrating this project right now since we're already in the middle of it. But I'm open to suggestions. If you all think that I really should migrate it, we can think about it. If any of you want to attempt to migrate it, that's totally fine with me if that's something that you would like to do and like to try to do. But I'm happy to just leave it as is for this project and then migrate. Maybe the next time we use it, we'll use the newest version. Okay. Alright, now I am at the bottom of the live chat, and I'm really going to end this time. What's today? Friday. Alright, it's Friday, so I hope you all have a nice weekend, I'll be back Monday, and hopefully you all. I'd like to see what you all do over the weekend. So I know Harshit's going to be working on this, but I know some of you have some cool side projects and things that you shared with me. So I guess if you're doing any work this weekend, let me know on Monday, because I'm really interested in seeing what you all are working on and seeing if we can help each other out. I think it's really cool that you all help me out on my projects, but if we could all help each other out, that would be awesome as well. So if your stuff's not on GitHub already, put it on GitHub and make some issues, and then on Monday we can go over all that and try to help each other out. You guys can maybe I'll bring up some of the projects, and I think that would be kind of cool. It'd be like we have our own little team here, you know? Alright. I can never find the button to end the stream when I want to. Alright, I found it. It was great coding with you, and I'll see you on Monday.